Okay, so on Bellringer 23, it says convert each decimal to its, there should be an S there, fraction form, show your work, simplify when possible. So just like yesterday, remember on your Bellringer quiz, I'm probably gonna take the blue calculators away. Give you the small ones, because you don't need to use those blue buttons. Put your pencil on the decimal and circle everything to the right of the decimal. Is that gonna be the numerator or the denominator? Numerator. Good. Now, we need to figure out what we're gonna use for the denominator. The one is in what place? The one is in what place? Tenths. The two is in what place value? Hundreds, and the 5 is in what place value? Thousands. So even if you're like, I don't know what my place values are, because I always get confused on the decimal side, how many numbers are to the right of the decimal? How many zeros did I use? Always works. If you have 3 decimal places, or 3 numbers to the right of the decimal, you use that many zeros. So even if you don't remember what the place values are, you can do that. Now, this ends in a 5, and this ends in a 0, so we need to simplify. So we need to find a number that will divide into each of these numbers. Delia? 5, good. So 125 divided by 5 is? 25. 1,000 divided by 5 is? Oh, one ends in a 5 and one ends in a 0, so what can I simplify this again by? What is it? 5 again? Okay. 25 divided by 5 is? 200 divided by 5 is? Oh, one is a 5 and one ends in a 0, so I can simplify this again by dividing both of them by 5. 5 divided by 5 is? 40 divided by 5 is? Now, how can I check to see if that is correct fraction? Maybe I made a mistake somewhere. What can I do, Brendan?
When you divide 125,
I want to make sure my answer of 1/8 is the same. I want to know how I can figure out if this and this are the same. Brayden? Turn the fraction into a decimal, and how do I do that? To change a fraction to a decimal? Do you think about changing a decimal to a percent? Emily?
Divide the numerator, but divide by the denominator.
Did you hear her vocabulary? She said, divide the numerator by the denominator. Everybody do that in your calculator, please. And Emily, later you can get a treat for your vocabulary. Good job. So take 1 divided by 8. What do you get?
0.125.
Oh, isn't that exactly what you started with? So is this fraction equivalent to this decimal? Okay, problem B. Put your pencil on the decimal and circle everything to the right of it. Are we going to use the numbers to the right of the decimal as the numerator or the denominator? Numerator. And what place value is the 2 in? Tenths. And how many digits are to the right of the decimal?
1.
And how many zeros did I use?
1.
So that way, if you don't know your place values, this will help you out. Now we need to simplify because these are both even numbers. So if they're both even, what can I divide them by? 2. 2 divided by 2 is? 10 divided by 2 is? Now, who can now tell me how to check this answer and see if it's the same? Caden? Jace? Take the numerator and divide it by the denominator. Absolutely. And once again, excellent on that vocab. take the numerator, put it in your calculator, then hit the divide by button, and then the denominator, and you get 0.2. So is this fraction equivalent to this decimal? Yes. And Jace, you can get a treat for your vocab also in a moment. How is problem C different than A and B? The 2 keeps going. How do you know it keeps going? I only see 1, 2. Good, good, good. That repeating bar is over the 2. So when we have a repeating rational number, these are still rational because they terminate. This is a rational number because it keeps going with a pattern. It just keeps repeating the 2 over and over again like a broken record. So when you have that repeating pattern, you have to do these slightly different. So you're going to take and put your pencil on the decimal and circle everything to the right of the decimal and use it as your numerator. That's the same as it was before, right? Now we have a little bit of a hiccup for the denominator. Because if we take and put it over 10, are we going to get just 0.2? We need 0.22222222222, right? So now you're going to take and find out what place value is the 2 in. Now subtract 1. Take 2 and divide it by 9. So take the numerator and divide it by the denominator. And do you get 0.2222222? So do you have to watch for that repeating bar?